Hi, I'm Jeremy Crosby.
And I'm Nick Boucher. We're the hosts for the program that's all about your city, Talking Fitchburg.
Every day, we pull together the news, events, and information you need to stay on top of what's happening in the city of Fitchburg.
Find Talking Fitchburg on cable TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and our live stream on the web. Plus, you can view all our headlines and stories on Facebook, YouTube, and our video on demand service. This is your city.
Keep up with Talking Fitchburg and the issues that affect you and your neighbors.
Want to know what's happening in your city? Get Notify Me messages from the City of Fitchburg. Visit fitchburgwi.gov on your computer or mobile device and select the big Notify Me button on the left. Enter your email and/or phone number, whichever is best for you to get notifications. Scroll down the list and select all the topics you're interested in to receive email or text messages about. You'll be notified every time one of your topics is updated. Sign up for Notify Me, one more way to keep up with your Fitchburg government.
Call to order. So hello, everyone, and welcome to the November Library Board meeting. Call to order at 5:30. Item number 2, public appearances, non-agenda items.
There's nobody here. Heard from no one?
I feel like I just gotta give people a chance. All righty. Item number 3, approval of minutes. So may I have a motion to approve the October 2024 minutes?
I move approval.
Thank you. Questions, comments, concerns?
I have a concern. I believe, and it really doesn't matter, it was Ann who made the corrections in the code of policy, code of conduct,
Yes.
not me.
Okay.
And I'm
Not
listed
necessarily
as
you.
the one who, not that it matters in the long run, but just
Yep. It's good to be accurate always.
to be accurate.
And then, Ann, you did make record retention policy changes also.
I did.
You mean, okay, yeah.
I think I put your name because you made a motion to approve it, but not the motion to make the, I think the corrections were suggested by Ann, but you actually made the suggestion to approve the motion to
Okay.
do it.
Okay.
I can change it if you want, but do I change it? I just want to double check.
Yeah, because I think it says, let me go to it.
Yeah, I read that as Toby suggested the changes or.
Right, so, yes.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm happy to change it if you like. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Motion to approve
Comes
with the
first.
suggested changes
Yeah, maybe I reworded
as
or.
opposed to, okay.
We can look at the wording there a
that's
little
fine.
bit, make it a little more clear.
I just wanted to give Ann credit where credit is due.
Awesome.
Okay, anything else? All right, if nothing else, all in favor of approving the October 2024 minutes with the minor correction as just discussed, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item. So financial report and register. May I have a motion to approve the August 2024 financial register and overview?
I will motion to approve it.
Thank you, Toby.
All right, just a few things to point out here. Tim and I both wanted to just mention, so you're seeing a few things on here. This is from August, but there's some things here that are dated back to June, July, April in some cases. Essentially, these are things that the finance department really wants these to have the date of the invoice on it. They don't always get processed as quickly. They don't always get to us as quickly. Sometimes they get lost in my email for a little bit. We've had a number of different things cause some issues here. But we want you to see the actual charge. We will then, at the end of this meeting, move these to the appropriate place in the register so that we are able to go back over the year and see the actual invoice date, but we don't want to put it there without you approving it. So that's why it looks a little bit mixed up. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Then a couple of things to note here. Facility site in account 245, so this is the software account. This is the annual people counter license. You have seen previously that we paid for the hardware. So this is the software, and this is an annual expense. The hardware was a one-time. We are still very happy with that. We're actually meeting with staff from the senior center next week to go over the different reports that are available and reports that we would like to request to be added so that we can use it. I think it's missing a few things that I want, and I think we can add it all ourselves, but we want to make sure that we're using it consistently across the city. So, one other thing. Oh, we had in account 355. A significant purchase for computer replacements. So that you see that every year, but it's always kind of a big one. You'll see MG and E on here. I'm happy to report this one is still very high from August, but the one I just paid for or received that was paid early November was significantly less. So I don't know if that's because milder temperatures. I don't know if that's because of solar. The solar is fully functioning, so I think that's helping us. The chiller seems to be doing a good job. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see over the next year sort of where we end up month to month. We're still obviously going to see some changes because of just weather, but it was good to see. It was under, I think, 6,000, so I was happy about that.
Wendy, what equipment uses gas?
The fireplace in the quiet reading room.
Oh.
Only thing in the building.
Okay.
Wendy, on number 240, dry sprinkler test.
Yes, so that is Johnson.
Year?
Huh?
Is that a yearly expense?
It's not. It's
Okay.
I want to say every 3 or 4. I feel like I'm always a little bit surprised by it.
Yeah.
Because it's not something we see every year, and it is one of the things that I'm constantly bugging Kevin to like find out if we need to do it next year so we can budget for it.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's expected, but it's not every year.
It's expensive.
Yes. Oh, I just saw a typo we need to fix under electrical. Overhead door company, replace electrical operator.
Thank you.
And then the concrete pads for Storywalk are in here as well. So if you recall, the Friends did purchase the stands for us, but we had to pay for the concrete to place them. So, and that took a while to get the bill from them because that was done in, I think, March or April. So I don't think there was anything else in here that jumped out at me. Any questions?
I know last month we talked about the people counter, and it was
Yeah.
interesting walking in and not having that.
Like,
That was-
oh, did you notice the gates are gone?
Yes, yes, it was so much more.
Really
welcoming.
opens up the
Isn't it? It just feels so much more comfortable. And I think a lot of people walk in and are sort of like, something's different. I don't really know what it is. We still have to so there's mats down, and the mats will stay down, but we're going to try on Friday morning to pour concrete into there's little conduit. It's cut out of the tile where the conduit comes up. So we're able to replace the carpet tiles up here, but we still have to work on it. And it needs like 4 hours undisturbed. So Friday morning is going to be sort of some shenanigans of cones and stanchions and trying to get people to walk around it until 11 o'clock maybe, so like an hour of being open. I'm not looking forward to that, but it'll be worth it. I think it looks great. I'm so happy every time. I just sort of want to walk through the doors with my arms out every time. Yeah, I'm happy about that. All right, so I think we can vote on that.
Okay, anybody else? Questions, comments, concerns? All right, all in favor of approving the August 2024 financial register and overview, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed and abstentions, motion carries. Number 5, unfinished business. I believe we have none.
That's correct.
I know we have none. Item number 6, new business. So for this, we have council approved budget for 2025. So can I get a motion to approve the council approved budget for 2025?
Do we need to approve that? Because
know.
didn't the Common Council approve it? So
They did, but I like to, just because one of the DPI requirements of the board is that you have control of all of the funds. So since this has gone through the draft and the approval process, this is the last time you'll approve it.
Okay.
I will motion to approve the 2025 budget.
Thank you, Toby.
Nothing major changed here since you've last seen it. So I do appreciate that this feels very redundant. The one thing that has changed from Dane County, they were lobbying to reimburse libraries for programming expenses, and that at the last minute did not go through. So this says our budget from the county is $57,729, and it's actually $8,000 less than that. So we're starting at a little bit of a disadvantage there. but we are still hopeful that it might go into effect next year. We'll see. We have a new county exec now, so we'll see how that goes. Everything else, I think at the last minute, maybe we did have something that happened in our benefit with insurance, and I'm not sure if you've seen that. So there might be a little bit of improvement in some insurance numbers, but very minor. So overall, I think we're very happy with where this is. So, any questions?
So we're up more or less 9.9% in the budget, but it looks like a large chunk of that's coming out of our general reserve fund.
Yeah, so that is the second floor redesign.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
I mean, it's still a healthy
Yeah.
fund, but
Yeah.
we're still
Yes.
down a good chunk bigger than
right.
any year that I can
Yes,
see.
so
on
any
there.
capital improvement project is going to have that effect.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
And then the utilities and telephone,
Yeah.
did we talk about this last time and I'm just forgetting it?
So I lowered that, perhaps foolishly.
It just was interesting after we got that high bill
Yeah.
in August.
So I talked to a lot of people about that, and it was a gamble. I'm more concerned about it now than I was before because we are currently right at the budget for this year, and we have 2 months left. We did have a significant part of this year that we were not running well. So I'm still hopeful, but I don't know. We'll see how, I mean, I'm aware that we may have to move some things around to cover it. This is probably lower than I should have gone. I felt so hopeful with the new tiller and getting the solar fixed.
Exactly.
But perhaps too hopeful. We'll see. I will manage it if it's a problem.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it looks like otherwise, this is mostly just kind of different balances
Yeah.
for each of the different
Yeah.
accounts, but otherwise the
It's not a
total
huge,
numbers.
huge change. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So we can vote on that.
Anything from anybody else? Okay. All in favor of approving the council-approved budget for 2025, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Alrighty, item number 7. Ooh, we're moving fast today. I would just like to reaffirm that the mission of our library remains steadfast and how much I very much appreciate that we are fairly independent and that upcoming changes, at the state and national level should generally have no effect on us. Our purpose is to serve as a welcome and inclusive space for all members of our community with the mission of learning, connection, and access to information. And I would just like to thank the board and the library staff for your continued trust and support as we work together to make sure the library remains the incredible resource that it is for our community.
Thank you.
It's a very nice sentiment.
Concur.
Yeah.
Yes.
I figured people would appreciate that,
Yep.
just making,
Yep.
hopefully just stating the obvious, and that is all I had.
Okay.
So item number 8, library director report. Turn it over to Wendy.
Okay, so a couple of things. We had an LA1 position that was open. We have filled it. I'm happy to report that we have someone coming back to the library. She was a shelver in 2019-20, moved away for a bit, but is now going to come back in an LA1 position. She worked in a library when she was in Colorado, so we're happy to have her back. That's always good to see people that want to come back apply. So that's great. We had a staff in service on the 6th. There were a lot of feelings in the building, for sure. We did some very light activities. We had a Nerf battle, which was fantastic. And I'm going to say that I feel like it's a really good personality test because there were people that were just cutthroat in ways that I did not expect.
They were.
And some people that were really holding back that I didn't expect. It was so interesting. I have to recommend, every business group do it because it's just so interesting. The one downside is that there was a lot of hiding behind the security gates. They were still in at that time. And they were clear, so you could hide behind it. and so then I had a moment of Kevin, can you just put those in just for the next Nerf battle that we have and then take them out again? He said no. So anyway, so it was really good. Then the afternoon was spent with I would say building supervisors. So all the full-time staff and the professional staff stayed for the afternoon, and we talked about the redesign of the second floor. So we did kind of a SWOT activity. which is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, on just the second floor, and how we, I don't know if that, okay. About how we use the second floor. So what do we need more of? What do we need less of? What do we like? What do we want to change? Sort of all with the caveat of we don't have unlimited funds. We have $200,000 and probably not doing a lot of construction type work, but furniture rearranging, certainly talking about needing probably more study spaces and how to get that down, where to put those, needing less magazine shelving because those are folding by the day. So it was a really good discussion. I think our next step is to engage Deb Hafner from South Central, who is their sort of design person, to kind of look at floor plans, how much space we need for certain things, what furniture we think could be rearranged, what furniture we think needs to go, what we need to bring in. So I think everybody's kind of excited about that project. So it was good to get that moving. What else? Oh, something I'm working on, I think for the December meeting. We have talked about this before, but about having a position description for library trustees. And I have been collecting them from other libraries for a little bit and trying to decide if it should be a position description or a questionnaire. There are libraries that do both. And I realized that DPI has a very nice position description already done for trustees. And it is very clearly lays out what the duties are, but also includes intellectual freedom and some things that I think we really want to have in there as we go forward in this new landscape that we're in. So I want to get that in place before we bring somebody on in the vacancy that we've got now, and then we'll have a couple of other vacancies next year. So just getting that ready. I will probably send that out to you via email before the next meeting in hopes of approving it at the next meeting so that we have it in place for January. So if you have questions or want to make comments, it might be good to do that before the next meeting. We could also discuss it in December and bring it back and approve it in January. That I think would work also. But I'm working on filling the vacancy. So I want to get that done soon.
Is that a library vacancy?
Yes.
Okay.
Board. Yes, it's the
Yes.
school.
That's what I meant,
vacancy.
school library.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And how do you get someone?
So I've been talking to different people about because we've got 3 different school districts, which gives us more options, but makes it
Okay.
sort of more complicated
So
as
it
well.
can be
So I'm
from
reaching out
elementary,
to
middle, or high school.
and we've
somebody who's
done
willing.
Madison and we've done Oregon. So I'm kind of talking to people that know people in all those areas.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Thank
Yes,
you.
have some very good suggestions. So, strategic planning, I just wanted to let everybody know this. So we've been sort of waiting to see what the city strategic plan is going to look like. We do have a draft of that out. I think it will go to council for editing, so I don't think it's a final thing yet. I'm getting a little bit itchy to start on ours, but it is Thanksgiving already, so I'm going to let that play out, and then I think in January we'll jump into doing ours, whether that one is completed or not. I think the second floor redesign really fits into that process, so I would like to get the framework sort of in place in the first quarter of next year. Ooh, and now that I said that on camera, I have to do it. So that will get moving here soon.
May I ask you a question about
Yeah.
the winter reading participants?
Yes.
Statistics?
Yes.
Why do you think that has dropped so dramatically from 89 adults in 2023 to 28 in 2024? Any thoughts on that?
I don't know if we didn't market it as well or if people are just not as interested. I feel like, so we use Beanstack for that, so it's an app. And I feel like the further we get away from the pandemic, the less people want to interact that way. So maybe we should think about if we want to do something different going forward. But the kids are about the same.
No, teens are up. Look at 2022, only 7. Then we went to 5 and now 11. So
Yeah.
the teens are
Yeah.
participating more.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's very hard to say why.
Does that number include, I guess, is that just up till October or November or?
Winter reading is January and February.
Oh, okay, so.
Oh.
Yep, if you're looking at
Thank
winter
you.
reading, yep.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's January, February of, okay, so like the beginning
Yeah.
of the year. Okay,
Yeah, so-
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I guess, yeah, we're in fall still. That makes sense.
I will talk to Tegan about that though before we
Yeah, just wondering.
decide. We haven't talked about the next one yet, so I'm not sure what the plans are. It's so hard to know.
Yep.
Yep. Any other questions on stats? Excellent. All right, that's all I have.
Cool. So I believe, go back. All right, so that gets us to item number 9, announcements. The next library board meeting will be on December 18th at 5:30 in this same location. And then item 10, adjournment. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Ann. All in favor? Say aye.
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 All opposed and abstentions. Motion carries.
Might be.